For more Magic the Gathering resources, check out my friends at paperchampion.net and Kitchen Table MTG. Alright, so we are playing Mono Black Fairies. Opponent's playing something black. They're going to take my Deprive. That's the only thing they can take. Alright, so let's just see here. Had a few technical difficulties so far in this game with Moto today. I don't know why. Oh, another land. Okay, well, let's at least get the Fairy Miscreant out. Okay, and we'll just see how we do from here. Cut like a 5-land or 5-lander. That's a tough one, but I don't know. It could work out okay, right? How bad could it be? Everflowing Chalice. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's just a little bit of mana ramp. Oh, Spellstarter Sprite's okay. Let's go Island. And just hold up Spellstarter Sprite. We'll swing. Okay, with Fairy Miscreant. Alright, and see how we do. Alright, so depending what we get next turn, I might drop a Fairy Conclave. Okay, so let's see, I can counter a 2-mana spell, but that's it. Microsynth Wellspring. Alright, so we should be able to counter this. Okay. Yay! Right, so I got 2 fairies out. He's probably got something else to go. Another one! Of course. Alright, what else does this do? Is that it? Oh, okay, it's just an artifact that lets you draw a land, or look for a land. Okay. Ah, Mistbind Click. This is just okay. I don't have anything to cast with it yet, so let's throw out the Fairy Conclave, and we'll just go to attacks. But next turn, I can tap all their lands and throw out Mistbind Click, and bounce or champion my Spellstarter Sprite. Okay, Claws of Gix. Alright, interesting. It's like a super heavy artifact deck. I'm curious to see what my opponent's up to. Looks interesting. Alright, so... Alright. A Deprive is good, so let's go play our island. And we'll just swing. We'll set a stop on our opponent's upkeep. Okay, to tap all their lands. Although with their mana rocks, they might be able to get around that anyways, but we'll see. Oh, float some mana. Okay, sacrifices Microsynth Wellspring. Okay. Okay. Alright, we can end turn. Okay, so on our opponent's upkeep, we will pay 4, play Mistbind Click. Alright, so we'll tap all of our opponent's lands. Alright, and we will we'll bounce not bounce, but champion Spellstarter Sprite. Okay. And let's see what we can do then. Okay, so opponent's waiting for me to put the trigger on the stack. I'm like, what's going on? Why is he taking so long? It's actually my fault for not putting it on the stack. But alright. So opponent's got access to 1 mana. 2 mana. Alright, I'm on a decent clock now. Okay, Ghost Quarters are pretty useless against my opponent here. Alright, well, except for the mana that they give. Vapor Snag's decent. Alright, well, let's play the Ghost Quarter, and we'll just go to attacks. Oh. Actually, Vapor Snag is awesome, because I'll just bounce my Mistbind Click back to hand. Right, and then I'll play it again at my opponent's upkeep. Alright, sure. I will Vapor Snag, Mistbind Click. Okay. You'll come back. Spell Starter Sprite comes back to my hand. On my opponent's upkeep, I will play the 4 mana and play Mistbind Click again. Okay, champion a fairy. We will champion. Let's go Fairy Miscreant this time. Tap all my opponent's lands. Alright. So opponent now has access to 2 mana again. Alright, that's gotta be frustrating. Alright, another Fairy Conclave. Alright, so let's play Fairy Conclave. And we will pay 2 colorless. Or a blue and a colorless. Fairy Conclave becomes a fairy. We'll just swing. Alright. Okay, and I can hold up Deprive. So... okay. Oh, he's sacrificing some lands to get some life. Interesting. Okay, I don't need to stop my opponent's upkeep this time. Ooh, sacrificing your lands to get life is harsh. Alright. Okay, so opponent's trying to cast something. Transgress the Mind. Well, do I even bother casting it? Reveals his or her hand. You choose a card from it with converted mana cost 3 or greater. Oh, yeah, okay, you can take a look. I don't have a card with converted mana cost 3 or greater. I think my opponent, he went up to 6 thinking that I wouldn't be able to kill him with these 2 fairies, but I think he's forgotten that I have the Fairy Conclaves that can become fairies as well. So, we'll see though. Maybe they have something else in mind. Alright, so Deprive's just a hard counter. I have to bring an island back to... a land back to my hand, but oh well, that's not a big deal. I can pay that price. Alright, so we'll see what happens here. Alright, so it seems like my opponent has gotten kind of salty and doesn't want to play against Mono Blue Fairies, especially after they whiffed on Transgress the Mind. So I'm just waiting for them to time out. This is something that players sometimes do if they get salty or mad. You know, they'll just drop the match, and like they won't drop the match. They'll just like put the window aside and play another match or do something like that. And it's basically like saying, okay, well, if you want to play, then too bad. I'm going to make you wait for 10 minutes until my turn time's out. And I guess I'm just waiting. So I mean. Anyways, Mono Blue Fairies can be kind of a pain to deal with, especially in this match. I do feel bad for my opponent because, I managed to get Mistbind Click on him, and like if he's ramping his mana, he's probably got some big stuff he's trying to get out, so he's finally got his mana online, and then I cast Mistbind Click, and oh, there it is. So I got Mistbind Click, and tapped all his lands, then missed buying click, and then I vapor snagged my own and did it again. You know, so I can see he might be kind of mad, you know, but he was probably about to time out, and yeah, so this is actually like, it could have been maybe a salty, or maybe he had to go to the bathroom or something like that, but I suspect that my opponent actually really is like super salty about this deck, because they knew they were about to time out there, and they just came back to do a play so that their timer, the 10-minute timer, starts again. Yeah, they're not saying anything in the chat. It's funny, you know, like, I don't know, if they have a problem, then maybe tell me what your problem is, but I don't know. Like, I guess I'm waiting for 10 minutes, but I'm not going to make you wait with me. I'm just going to put the recording on pause, and I'll come back to it in 10 minutes, or if he comes back. So, see you. Well, it'll seem like a second to you, but probably 10 minutes for me. So, I've been waiting for a while. I decided to ask my opponent if they're upset about playing this deck. They said yes, and now I'm saying sorry. I know blue can be frustrating to play against. I'm trying to be gracious, but you know, it's not nice. Alright, so at this point my opponent got super salty. You know, they were pretty upset, and for instance, they said that if they were playing me in person, that they'd reach over and slap me. You know, and I'm like, well, okay, you could try, but that's not going to work out too well. Like, I don't care who you are. If you reach over the table and slap me in the face, things are going to go bad. And he's like, what would you do? I'm not a fighter. As if I'm provoking him, right? Anyways, then I'm like, you're the one who said you would attack me. You know, I'm not the one who's like saying I would reach over the table and slap you. And he's like, oh, I said some guys, not you. Okay, sure, whatever. Alright, anyways, then the next thing my opponent does is say that he would just go and knock all their cards off the table, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, if you think you're not provoking a fight by doing that, that's, you know, you are provoking a fight. That's not going to be good for you or for anybody. Anyways, then it goes on and on about, you know, I'm just kind of seeing what he's going to say, like, you know, and he's like, a young boy couldn't chase me at work, I'd run away, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I thought it was fun to play against this salty player. You know, I kind of like seeing how people lose their mind over, you know, a game. But anyways, that's sometimes how it rolls with the salty players. So if you have a story about salty players you played against, share it in the comments. I'd like to hear them. Anyways, I guess thanks for watching. See you next time.